They took down my fence without warning, so I filled their community pool with mud. They thought they could erase my boundary and walk over my property like it was public land. They sent a crew at dawn, backhoes, bobcats, men in bright vests. And by noon, my old picket fence lay in a heap, splinters and nails and everything my grandfather had nailed in himself. No knock on the door, no sorry, just destruction and a thin paper notice that said, "Improvement completed." I stood in the wreckage with dirt under my nails and a plan forming like thunder. If they wanted to make my land invisible, I'd make their prized amenity unusable. Their community pool was their temple, glittering blue tile, kids' parties, HOA newsletters bragging about resort-style living. It was where they proved their status. So I decided status would be muddy from now on. First, I watched. Patterns emerge when you pay attention. Maintenance trucks arrived at 7 a.m. The pool pump room was guarded by a single padlock. The filter had a service window at the back. I mapped routes, memorized shift changes, and noted where rain runoff collected near the pool deck. The night I chose was stormy by design. I'd waited for heavy cloud cover and for the grounds crew to be off-site. I borrowed an old beat-up trailer and filled it with dry topsoil, dark and chunky and smelling of riverbeds. I drove it to the rear easement where maintenance trucks squeezed through. The trailer looked like renovation debris, boring, believable. I wore a work jacket, kept my head down, and the gate officer waved me through because I looked like predictable trash. At 2 a.m., while the neighborhood slept and the moon hid, I tipped the first load. The soil slid like velvet into the shallow end, sinking and clouding the water instantly. I moved faster than I'd ever moved in my life, tilting trailers, dumping wheelbarrows, shoveling until my arms screamed. The once pristine water turned to coffee-brown soup under the stars. I sealed the pool covers clumsily to hide the worst of the mess. It looked like a maintenance job gone wrong, not sabotage. The pump choked on silt when it woke up. The filters clogged within hours. By morning, the lifeguard called the HOA in a panic. "You need to see this," he said. The first meeting erupted with furious voices and fingers pointing in every direction. They blamed contractors, kids, raccoons, even an unexplained pipe break. I watched from my porch with a cup of coffee and dirt still under my nails, listening to their theories. The cleanup estimate came back like a sentence. Tens of thousands to drain, pressure wash, retile, replace filters, inspect pumps. Insurance balked because of suspected intentional contamination. The HOA scrambled to find someone to blame, legal letters flew, and the newsletter that used to show smiling pool parties now apologized for unexpected closure. Their summer evaporated in a brown, disgusting blur. In the end, they rebuilt, at great cost and with hollow eyes. They replaced the pool and the landscaping, but for weeks the neighborhood knew the taste of humiliation. My fence was fixed by the city as a required boundary, and next spring people walked past my property with a new, careful look. Type "mud" in the comments to be considered as our loyal viewer. And if you want more stories like this, subscribe and we will keep the dirt coming.